morning. You know what I love about the write-in Donald Trump thing?
Yes.
Is that it's a runoff. You can't write in anybody.
Right. Oh, don't discourage people. Just take that ballot and do a Sharpie, a big Sharpie, write Trump on it. And then put it under a rock in a river.
Yes. No, don't tell them to use a Sharpie. That got everybody into trouble in Pennsylvania.
Isn't it just, even for him, the Captain Crazy Town, but his DOJ and FBI were involved in stealing the election from him, along with rogue mailmen that were what were they doing? Selling ballots or putting them under rocks in rivers. Was it rocks in rivers or rocks separate from the river?
Rocks were separate from the river.
Okay.
So it could have been, a river bank maybe.
Are there any spiders and snakes involved? Because I don't like. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we're trying to reconnect with Rudeness. We just lost him. Oh dear.
Oh, no.
I see. He looks like Travis Geist now. There's like a apparition of him, but not the actual him. Okay, no, that's me.
I know.
All right. Okay. Where are we? Oh, yeah, here was the one, by the way, the tweet I was mentioning. Not Bill Murray. Not Bill Murray. Tweets. Okay. Literally everything that asswipe says is projection. The FBI did rig an election. It was in 2016. It was in his favor. He actually won on account of the FBI. Yes, that was the final thing on top of the Russian effery was the FBI.
Exactly.
The Comey letter.
Yeah.
Yes, hello, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, welcome back. What you were saying?
Thank you. We're having a big storm here right now. So
okay.
Yeah.
Mama will hold you. Come here.
Oh, thank you. I'll nuzzle.
Oh, you were talking about Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. Just the way he's attacking Kemp and the Republican governor who backed him vociferously.
Right.
It's just great to watch them, just destroy themselves.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, and you also picked out, this is my favorite. You said, don't ever talk to the president that way is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard a president say, especially from the tiny desk, right? Just with the tiny, shaking a tiny fist.
But I do love that the reporter was so agitated at that point. The reporter, before Trump said that, the reporter is like, just answer the question. Like he asked Trump a yes or no question, and Trump's going on, and the reporter's finally like, just answer the question.
Yeah, you said it's going to be really special when Biden's inaugurated and the pandemic suddenly becomes the most important thing, and the slight misstep by Biden's administration will be treated as a world-ending cataclysm. Yes, get ready for this to all be entirely his fault at noon on January 20th, right?
Oh, yeah. Did you see John Cornyn tweeting out the demand for transparency from the Biden administration? It's like, oh my God, really? Really? Are you going to ask that people from his administration come and testify? What happens when they say, nah, go F yourself?
Yeah. Speaking of COVID, you talked the SCOTUS ruling. You said if you don't know the difference in COVID exposure between an hour plus in church and a couple minutes in a liquor store, you have no business being on the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch. And yeah, like you, my liquor store is adamant about wearing masks and social distancing. You do not with Raj about this. He will throw your ass out. Raj is your local liquor salesman.
Raj has told me about people that he has thrown out. He had one person say, one guy said, I could go back to my car and get a mask, but I'm just going to go and shop somewhere else. And Raj was like, okay, go.
Okay, see ya. Yeah. I like Raj already.
That's the New Jersey way.
Yeah. They have a sign outside that says, it's been 10 months. You should know to wear your mask over your nose.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know. Please don't tell me you're pro-life when you're... This has nothing to do with religious liberty. We're saying any large gathering where you're together for extended periods without masks, singing, screaming, shouting, praying. It's a super spreader event. It doesn't matter if it's what it is. Yeah. It's not. It has anything to do with religious liberty. We're saying any restaurants, bars, anywhere where people pack together, particularly without masks. Anyway. Okay.
And down south, go ahead and have it outdoors. You know what? Right. Have outdoor services in places where you can do it. You should. I encourage you. Right. If you need to worship that badly, then there's your way to do it.
The Methodist Church down the street from me has been holding outdoor services every Sunday since March. That's how you do it.
Right.
You don't whine and complain. You go and praise God however way you can.
Yes, thank you. I loved Frank's tweet. Frank Schaefer said Amy Barrett is against abortion, but not against super spreader church services that endanger entire cities. Interesting version of pro-life.
Yep.
Well, her origin story is a super spreader event.
Yes.
So.
Rudeness, yeah, you also said after 4 years of incompetence and a revolving door at the White House, chaos, incompetence, revolving door, Republicans are really going with how dare Joe Biden choose people with knowledge and experience for cabinet positions. Yes, that's where we are, apparently.
Yeah, that was when Marco Rubio was saying something along the lines of, that, look at all these Ivy League grads that are going to be in there. And I'm like, well, A, Trump brags about going to an Ivy League school. B, half of his cabinet went to Ivy League school. Yeah. C, you're an idiot.
Yes. Right. Ooh, smart people. You were saying, you were writing the same thing I said. I'm like, I'm so relieved I don't know who any of these people are. This is so boring and fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to hear about what the Secretary of Education is doing to destroy education.
Yeah.
I don't want to even know who, the Secretary of, of Labor is,
Right.
I just want them to do their jobs competently.
We're just like, oh, thank God it's not meatloaf. Right. Okay, let's move on with our lives. People who work in their basement shouldn't know who these people are. I'm happy with that. Yeah, and you said, here's the thing. If you're going to overturn the result of an election and the votes of millions of people, you better have proof that, that face us.
What?
With how obvious it is. Don't give us Johnny in Philly says he saw something hinky bolt.
Yes.
It was. That's basically what it was. It was, my favorite was the lawyer with the sticky note that was hearsay from something a poll worker told another poll worker and then wrote it on a sticky.
Yeah, or the ones that were like, I was observing and then they treated me mean.
Right.
Because I didn't get trained and had no idea what I was doing. I just showed up there like an idiot.
Yeah. But somehow because they were sensitive about the white people coming from the suburbs to watch the black people.
Right.
Just keep an eye on them. Somehow that made them.
And getting in their faces and, questioning everything when they have rules that they're supposed to go by.
Yeah.
But rules don't matter to Republicans. Laws, who cares?
Because you are a liberal helper, you wrote a liberal helper piece, Getting Through the Next 2 Months of Hope and Dread. You said it is right. It is in one consequential day, we went from, oh, Christ, this or might have a chance to seal this election to thank this or is actually going to be gone. Between that fact and the vaccine light at the end of the COVID tunnel for the first time in years, it's in a future. You said, yes, I'm not blinded by hope to think any of this won't be a daily struggle against people who despise us and with people on our own side who want to do more or less. But you said, damn, the air feels lighter. It does. Yep. It does. This is this weekend when it finally became hilarious because it's getting so pathetic that you're just like, how can you not laugh at this ridiculous lost cause, whiny little diaper baby, right?
Oh, it was that Trump appointed judge just pimp slapping Giuliani all over the place in that decision. It just was like, I mean, if a Trump appointed judge is going to sit there and go, okay, you got to at least basically follow the law here for me to be able to go along with this.
Right.
It was like he was upset that they didn't even give him space to be, to give Trump the win.
Yeah. No, I know. Exactly. And you said it's okay to feel dread for the damage Trump can and will do over the next 2 months he's in office. Trump and the vindictive fleas. I have never had a flea in that area. I just want you to know.
Oh, goodness. Oh, that's good. It's good.
And I have dogs that he has surrounded himself with will seek to undermine the Biden administration in ways trivial and ways important. Right now, they're wrecking trust in our elections by insisting this one was corrupt and stolen, that they've only lost because of the complicit courts won't let them present their secret evidence or something. It doesn't matter. What matters is destroying as much of the nation's faith in the federal government, hell, in all governments run by Democrats that they can, as well as discrediting voters from people of color who live in Democratic places. They are. You're right. They're wreaking damage. You said, I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see Trump start a conflict with Iran or break diplomatic ties with an ally or NATO. We can all be pretty sure they're all destroying records as quickly as possible, covering up what is likely voluminous numbers of crime. The next 2 months of inaction on COVID is including underfunded preparation for the vaccine rollout. So, you said there is some to dread. And so, I guess what you're saying is we can do both, right?
Yeah, we can. It's okay to sit there and go, you know what? I'm going to just let Biden's cabinet picks, just let it ride for a
Right.
while, you know?
Right.
Or it could be, you know what? I don't like this person. I'm going to criticize. It's all okay because we're talking about politics again.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the end of the world.
Right. Right. And you said it's okay to feel dread about the future beyond Biden's inauguration because of how much damn work is going to need to be done. Start with the fact the country has tens of millions of Americans who think the election was rife with fraud. Yeah. And you said, Jesus balls. How did we make progress if we're constantly having to deal with people who simply exist in a state of non-reality? And that is, like I was saying, that, you know, just talking to friends who had conversations with right-wing relatives, just like it is a given fact there was tons of fraud in this election. And
Yep.
you just like, okay, well, we're starting from a place of no, that is just
Yeah.
completely not true, right?
I was thinking that today Biden gets his first presidential daily briefing, and I just imagined him just vomiting, just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I knew it was bad, but holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh my, and just, you know, he comes out looking green and like,
Yeah.
just the devastation that he's going to have to deal with.
Yeah,
and
I
just
know.
keeps going.
I know. By the way, thank you for not being a D about student loan debt. You said regarding forgiving student loan debt, I refuse to be angry at those who get a benefit denied me. I do get pissed off at the decades of people who made life miserable for those of us who had loans. They're the villains here, not some kid who might catch a financial break. As usual, too, it's almost like you have to tell right-wingers, here's what's in it for you. You're going to stimulate the economy, right? People are going to buy things because they're out from under this. But yeah, it does just seem like it's their usual, ishness that they're like, oh, I had to blah, 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 so you shouldn't. It's like, anyway, it's just being an a-hole to me to just go, I don't want anyone else to be able to, get ahead or buy a house or whatever, right?
In some ways, it's like when people would say, like when I was on the job market, and people would say, that there's probably women and non-white people getting jobs, because they're women and non-white, and instead of you, doesn't that make you angry? And I'm like, I'm not angry at the people getting jobs. I'm angry at centuries of stupidity in this country that made it so that we have to do this.
Yeah.
They're not to blame. We are.
Yeah. Sean knows I am a little torn at this because I don't want him to ever, risk being unchained from the radiator in my basement here should his student debt be lifted. So I'm a little torn about what's good for me, what's good for people that I love.
But that's very particular.
Yeah, it's a moral dilemma. It's very particular to me.
Yes, you don't want to let him.
As a concept, I'm for forgiving student loans.
Yeah, you don't want him roaming free with the things he's seen.
No, not at all.
Elsa, do not be free.